So what are we doing today? So we've conquered 3 different areas already. We've conquered the lake area, the solitary island area, and the temple ruins area. The next area that we're going to be taking a look at is the Forest of Fall area over here. And let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. So the first level is called Hop. And there are some new rules that are introduced in this area. We'll talk about them as we're introduced to them. Okay, so this level introduces the tele rule. For everybody who doesn't know, I'll just do a quick recap of what happens in this game. So in each one of these levels, there's going to be a bunch of rules that are established in the level with these little text tiles. And each one of them is going to set up a different rule for the level in the game. And for example, we've got this rule here, water is defeat. So if our player character, which is Baba, if this guy runs into the water, then they're going to be defeated. Let me demonstrate. So if we move Baba into the water, then they're destroyed. And that means we lose. We don't want to do this, so we can undo our actions, and we can go back. Okay, so water is defeat, flag is win. So the goal in each one of these levels is to touch the object that is designated as the win object. So because flag is win, this object over here by the water, this is going to be the win object. If we touch the win object, we win. We've got a couple more rules to go through. We've got Baba is you, which means that we control this object over here, Baba, and he's a little white guy, a little white rabbit sheep thing. And the last rule is fence is stop. So these fence objects over here, we can't move through them because they've got the stop rule applied to them, which means that we can't, they impede our progress. So the new rule that's introduced in this level is love is tele. So tele means teleport, which means that if there are 2 objects that are set as tele, if you move any object into the tele object, then you're going to move from one tele object to the other tele object. So when we move into the love object, which is the heart over here, we're going to be teleported to the other heart object. Just like this. So we need to figure out how to use these rules to win. And so this is what we're going to do. So we can teleport over here, and we can also move this push text tile. So we're just going to move the text into here. Okay, so we moved the push text tile with using the teleport for love is tele. So we can just move ourselves in here, and then we can move out, and we can also move the push tile out, and then we can replace the rules. So love is tele, we're just going to change this to love is push. So we're going to move the tele rule out. We're going to move the love is push into play, so we can now push these objects. So the love object, we're just going to move it over here. So why are we moving it over here? The reason we're moving it over here is we're going to teleport the water away so that we can get access to the flag. So when we set up the rule love is tele again, then the water is going to be teleported back and forth between these 2 objects. And while it's teleported away, we can actually move into the love is tele the love object, and then we can move into the flag. This is how we're going to do it. Okay, so we're going to move this out of the way. We're going to move the tele rule into place. So the water is being teleported back and forth, and we're just going to wait. We're going to move in here. We're going to wait to be teleported back, and then we're going to move into the flag, and then we're going to win. Okay, so before we finish and go to the next level, let's talk about how we solved this level. So over here, we're going to be talking about how we solved each one of these levels after we solved them. So we need to introduce some key points. So the key point for this level is that this level introduces us to the tele rule, which teleports objects between the same object each turn. This requires there to be at least 2 objects that are the same in the level when the tele rule is applied. So not only is the player able to teleport, but other objects as well. And we can use it to move objects around the level or out of the way of an objective. So this is what we did. So form the rule love is push. We move the love into one of the water squares that is adjacent to the flag. We form the rule love is tele, and then we teleport around and then touch the flag to win. Okay, let's go ahead and go over to the next level. So the next level is level number 2, Grand Stream. And the key point in this level is this. This level introduces the pull rule, which allows objects to be pulled by moving objects. So let's go over to the level and we'll find out more about this. So this is level 2, Grand Stream. Okay, so we should review the rules before we start the level. So Baba is you, so we're Baba over here. Wall is stop, we can't move past the walls. Water is defeat, we can't move into the water, otherwise we'll be destroyed. Kiki is Kiki, so Kiki is this red guy over here, and so Kiki can't be transformed. Most of the time in these levels we can transform objects into different objects, but not this time, not for Kiki, because the Kiki is Kiki rule is applied. We have key is open, which means that we need to use this key to open something. And when the open rule and the shut rule are paired together, and the open object can be used to open up the shut object. So if we can move this key into the box, then we will destroy both the key and the box. And the reason why we want to destroy the box is because the box has the flag. When the box is destroyed, the flag will be revealed, and the flag is win. The flag is the win object. So the goal of this level is to move the key into the box to destroy it, to reveal the flag, and then we can move into the flag to win. So the big complication in this level is that we're introduced to the pull rule. So it says here key is pull, which means that if we pull, if we're next to an object and then we move into a direction, then we will pull the object along with us. So the only way to not pull the object is to move in a direction which is not directly away from the object. So we can move at a 90-degree angle, I guess, from away from the object, and that means that the pull rule will not take place. So what we're going to do is this. So the other thing that is in play right now is that Kiki is move. So Kiki is move means that Kiki is going to move in a direction depending on where they're facing, and if they hit an obstacle, they'll move back in the opposite direction. So Kiki is moving up and down right now, and what we're going to do now is we're going to break the key is pull rule. So that doesn't really affect too much, but we can't pull the key. What we want to do to get the key over to the box is we're going to try to get Kiki to pull it over, and the way we're going to do it is this. So we're going to set up the rule. Oops. Okay, like this. So we're going to set up the rule Kiki is pull. Okay, so Kiki is pull. So after we do that, we're going to move Kiki into a position. So we're just going to pull Kiki down, and then we're going to pull Kiki in this direction. So Kiki is going to move from left to right, and which means that Kiki is going to come into contact with the key. So if we move Kiki into contact with the key, and the key is pull, then Kiki can pull the key across the water onto this side of the map. And that's what we want. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this up. So now key is pull, and we're going to set it up so that Kiki is move. Okay, so now that Kiki has moved, we're going to wait. And when Kiki makes contact with the key, Kiki's going to start pulling the key with him. So Kiki pulls the key, and I'm going to pull the key away. So I'm going to pull the key away like this. And then, well, I'm going to break up this roll. So Kiki is not move anymore. What we want to do is we want to pull the key into the box. So when we pull the key into the box, the flag is revealed. When we touch the flag, we're going to win. Okay, let's talk about how we solve the level and then move on to the next one. So this level introduces the pull rule, which allows objects to be pulled by moving objects. So the method of solve, we break the rule, key is pull, and then we set the rule, Kiki is pull. We pull Kiki into the same row as the key, we set the rules Kiki is move and key is pull, and then after the key is pulled across the water by Kiki, we're going to break the rule Kiki is move, pull the key on top of the box to reveal the flag, and then touch the flag to win. Okay, let's move on to the next level. This next level is Level 3, Rocky Road. Okay, so the key concept in this level is this. When an object is both push and tele, the push rule takes precedence over the tele rule, and the player can't use the object for teleporting. So what does this mean? We'll talk about it in just a little bit. Okay, let's go over to level number 3. Rocky Road. Okay, so we should talk about the rules. We've got a bunch of them. So Baba is you, which means we're playing as Baba. We've got rock is defeat. So we've got a bunch of rocks over here, and if we touch any of the rocks, then we'll be destroyed. So if Baba touches the rock, they're destroyed. We've got flag is win, so the objective for this level is to touch the flag to win. But we got some other rules as well. We've got love is hot. So the hard objects, the love objects, these will destroy anything that is melt. And we've got water is melt. So water is going to be destroyed if the love object comes into contact with it. And it's also defeat, which means that if our player object comes into contact with the water, will be destroyed. The last thing we've got is wall is stop, which means we can't move past the walls. So we need to set up a condition to finish this level. And this is what we're going to do. So love is push. We're just going to push the love object. And this is the important thing we have to understand in this level. So if the love object is both the teleportation object and it's the push object, but if the same object is both of these at the same time, then we can't use it for teleportation because our interaction with it is going to push the object. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to push the love object down here, and then we're going to break the rule love is push. So now that love is not push, we can actually use it for teleportation. We're going to move the push object into here, and then we're going to teleport ourselves. So the push object is going to switch from here to here a bunch of different times. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to the other side. And then after we're on the other side, we want to set up the push rule over here and the tele rule at the same time. And if we do that, and then we enter the love object at the same time, then we're going to teleport back to the love object, and then it's also going to be push. So we're going to go up, we're going to teleport over here, and then love is no longer going to teleport us. So we're going to move up, and we're going to push, well, we're going to push the love object into the water objects, because the water objects are getting in our way. Love is hot and water is melt, so if we move the love object into the water, we'll destroy the water objects. So 1, 2, 3, and now we've got access to the flag. So let's go ahead and touch the flag and finish the level. Okay, next walkthrough. So how do we solve this level? So move the love object to a position below the love is push rule. Move the push text into the love object, teleporting it. The thing is that the talking about the steps that we did is difficult to understand if we're not looking at the level itself. So we'll use the level itself as the guide for finishing the level. So let's go ahead and move on to the next level, which is level number 4. So level number 4 is called Telephone. And the key point in this level is that you can use the player object to teleport objects around. So we're going to be talking about this in the next level. Let's go ahead and access it. Level 4, Telephone. Okay, so let's talk about the rules before we start the level. So we got tree is stop. So the trees impede our progress. They're just like walls, but they look like trees. We also have wall is stop, which means that the walls are getting in our way. We can't move past them. We've got flag is win, which means that we need to touch the flag to win. So Baba equals key, Baba equals position, key equals position. So yeah, there is a lot of programming concepts in this game. So the concepts kind of feel like programming, and making the rules and breaking the rules feels kind of like programming as well. But we were talking about the rules. So yeah, so if we touch the flag, we're going to win this level. And we are also, what are the other rules? Key is push. So we can move the key around by pushing it, because the push rule is applied. We've got key is open. We need to find a way to move the key into this door, because door is shut and stop. So if we move the key into the door, both the key and the door are going to be destroyed, and then we'll have access to the flag. The last rule over here is text is float. So the text is floating, which means that it doesn't necessarily interact with objects that are also not floating. So most of the time, it's not something we need to pay attention to, but floating text is not super relevant in this level. So what is the goal? The goal is to somehow find a way to move the key into this area over here, the big room, and then push it into the door to destroy it, and then get access to the flag. So this is what we're going to do. So first of all, we control 2 Babas in this level. So there's the Baba in the small room, and the Baba in the big room over here. We're just going to form the rule ice is teleport. So ice is tele, and then we're going to move this Baba into the ice, and then move around the map. So what we want to do is we want to move this key into the small room. Well, we move the key, just a second. We move the key into the small room, and then we follow, and then we move the key aside. Okay, so now the key is in the small room. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to break the key is push rule. So if we break the key is push rule, we can actually move on top of the key. So we're just going to go back into the small room. We can move on top of the key now. This is going to be important a little bit later, because we're going to set up a new rule. So the new rule we're going to set up is Baba is tele. So we're going to make the Baba object the teleporting object. So when we do that, that means that if Baba comes into contact with any object, it's going to teleport to the other Baba. And in this case, we can teleport the key over to the other Baba, and this is, whoops, that's no good. Okay, just for your reference, if any object is not you, then you lose. So if Baba is not you, and nothing is you, then you lose the level. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're just going to move around, and then we're going to teleport the key by moving Baba into the key, like this. So Baba's now... the key is teleported to the other Baba, and then we break the rule over here. Okay, so Baba's no longer teleport. And we're going to make the ice the teleport object again. So this is what we're going to do. You gotta be careful. So ice is teleport. Hold on. Okay, so now ice is teleport again, and we can move into the ice. And the reason why we're doing this is because we need to reestablish this key is push rule, because we need to push the key into the door. So with the other Baba, we're gonna reestablish key is push. Then we're going to we're going to get the key and we're going to push it into the door. After we do that, we can touch the flag and then we win. Okay, so let's talk about how we solved that level. So form the rule, ice is tele. So we make the ice teleport. Then we move Baba into the small room and teleport the key into the small room. After we do that, we break the rule key is push so that we can move into the key. We teleport Baba into the small room and then set the rule Baba is teleport. Then we can have Baba touch the key, which teleports it into the large room. Then we form the rule ice is teleport and then reform the rule key is push so we can push the key. Push the key into the door to destroy both of the objects, which gives us access to the flag, and then touch the flag to win. Okay, let's move on to the next level. Next level is level number 5, Haunt. So this is a tricky level. So this level features the wall rule breaking technique, where if you sandwich a rule between two player objects, you can break the rule by sandwiching the rule between the player objects and mashing them against a barrier. So this rule is actually not very intuitive. Okay, so the other rule that we've got over here is that if you control more than one object at a time, you can form an is-you sled to interact with the textiles pushed up against the wall. So we're going to be covering both of these key points inside the level. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the level. It's level number 5. Okay, so we need to talk about the rules before we start the game. So we've got foliage is stop. So the foliage is these leaves over here. Actually, so there's a difference between the foliage object and the leaf object. The foliage object is 3 leaves, and the leaf object is just 1 leaf. So foliage is stop, we can't move past the foliage. Leaf is defeat, which means that if we touch the leaf, we will be destroyed. And we also have Baba is you, and Ghost is Tele. So the ghosts, we can teleport between the ghosts. I don't know if this really helps or not. And so what is the objective for this level? The objective for this level is to form this rule over here, love is win. So we don't have access to another is text object. We need to get access to one of these. We need to move it into position here to create the love is win rule. And then we need to touch the heart outside here to win. Okay, so let's see. So we need to form love is win, move this leaf out of the way, and then touch the heart object, the love object, to win. So how do we do that? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to become another object. So we're not going to be Baba as you. Instead, we're going to be Ghost as you. So Ghost as you means we now control these 2 ghosts. We don't control Baba. So the other thing we need to do is we need to use a certain technique to break this rule over here, leaf is defeat. And to do that, we're going to need to put both of these ghosts around the rule and then smash into a wall to break up the textiles. How do we do that? So first of all, we need to space out these ghosts so that they're 3 tiles apart. So what we can do is we can move this tile into place, and then we can separate these ghosts by 3 tiles, just like this. So now we've got 3 tiles separating these ghosts. So we're just going to move up over here, and then we're going to surround the love is defeat rule. So this is an unintuitive rule, but if we move everything to the left, sorry, to the right, then the text tile is actually going to overlap with our ghost. And if we're in this position, we can actually move to the left and then break the leaf is defeat rule. This is not very intuitive. This is not very intuitive, but this is a rule inside the game. And we're taking advantage of this rule to finish the level. So now that leaf is defeat has been broken up, this is what we're going to do. We're going to become the leaf. How do we become the leaf? This is how we're going to do it. So we're going to put these ghosts together so that the two ghosts are side by side, and then we're going to become the Baba creature. So we're going to become Baba. Baba is you. Oh, sorry. Is that what we want to do? Okay, so we're going to become Baba. So now Baba is you, and hold on. Okay, we're going to become Baba. So now Baba is you. So as Baba, we're going to move down here, and we're going to move Ghost up so that we're now the Ghost. So now that we're the Ghost, we're going to put the Ghosts together, and then we're going to move up, and we're going to move both of these text tiles at once to go from Ghost is you to Baba is you. So after that, we're now Baba, and we can move these 2 things up to become the Ghost again. Now that we're the Ghost again, we can move this up to become Baba again. And then after that, we can become the leaf by moving the U tile up into here. So now leaf is you. So we're now controlling the leaf. And is it stuck? Okay. I think I need to do a little bit more planning. Okay, so let's see. We need to move this ghost tile down before we become the leaf. So now we'll move this stuff over. Yeah, this I think this works. So now that we become the leaf, and we can move this tile out. So we now have access to this is tile, which we can use to complete the rule here, love is win. We move this down, we form love is win, now we just need to touch the love, and we can win. So we're now acting as the leaf, and when we touch the love object, we win. Okay, let's talk about how we solved that level. So we formed the rule ghost is you, and then we separated the ghosts by moving the text tile, the push text against the lower left of the wall, and then we created 3 tiles of separation between the ghosts. We sandwiched the ghosts between the leaf is defeat rule, and then we used the weird rule interaction by surrounding the rule and breaking it up by moving it up against the wall. Then we moved the ghosts next to each other and then formed a little sled so that we could change our object from Baba is you to Ghost is you by sliding the tiles up and down. Finally, we were able to form the leaf is you rule, and after that we formed the rule love is win, and then we touched the love object to win. Let's go ahead and go to the next level. So the next level is level number 6. This is Crate Square. Okay, so this level is not super difficult, but it does use the pull rule, and let's go ahead and start that. So this is level 6, crate square. Okay, this is a small level, but it's very dense. So what are the rules? So Baba is you, so we're Baba. Hedge is stop. These are the hedges. We can't move past them. Flag is melt. So if the flag comes into contact with a hot object, the flag will be destroyed. So the way we're going to win this level is by touching the flag. We've also got boxes pull, which we can't break up, which means that we can pull these boxes around like this. So if two objects that are pull are in a row, then all of the objects that are pull in the row are going to be pulled. So we can pull 2 objects in a row if there are 2 in a row, or 2 next to each other. But the other rules that are in place right now is brick is hot. So the bricks are hot, which means that if the flag comes into contact with the bricks, the flag will be destroyed. And if the flag is destroyed, we can't win, because we're going to be pushing this rule into place from brick is hot to water is hot, and then from flag is defeat and pull to flag is win and pull. So let's, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to pull, whoop, I have to be very careful when I'm interacting with this level. Okay. I have to avoid destroying the flag. So we're going to pull the crates so that they're all next to the flag. So let's see. Just gotta be super careful. Okay. I think I can pull this one down. All right. And then we're going to pull this one down, and this is what we want to do. So we've got all these pull objects all lined up here. When we pull on this box over here, it's going to pull the entire row, which means that even the flag is going to be pulled, because we're going to make the rule, well, flag is pull right now. So when we move over to the left, this entire row is going to be pulled, just like this. So the flag is actually out now. And what we need to do is we need to find a way to move into the flag. So what are we going to do? We're going to, well, I'm going to move these crates out of the way, because now we can pull the flag. So we pull the flag. The flag, well, we can. we're currently pulling the flag. What we want to do is we want to move into the flag. If the flag is pull, we can't move into it, so we need to break this rule here. So we're just going to move this and text square over here. Now we can touch the flag and win. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about how we solved that level. So line up the crates in a row with the flag. Next, pull the entire row of crates and flag to the left, forming the rules water is hot, brick is defeat, and flag is win in the process. Move the crates aside and pull the flag off the bricks. Break the and pull rule attached to flag is win, and then we touch the flag to win. Okay, let's do the next level. Level number 7. Level number 7, Ghost Friend. Alright, so this is kind of a complicated level. First of all, we should probably talk about the rules. So we've got hedge is stop. So that means we can't move past the hedges, they get in the way, they're walls. We've got flag is you, so we control the flag, and we also control Baba. Baba is Baba and you, which means that Baba cannot be transformed into another object, and we are controlling Baba. So we actually control both the flag and Baba at the same time. The only problem is we can't move too far to the right, otherwise the flag is going to come into contact with the skull. And right now, skull is defeat, which means if the flag touches the skull, the flag is going to be destroyed. And we need to set up the rule flag is win in order to finish this level. We've got the flag text over on this side of the map, but we can't actually get there by moving Baba, because if we move Baba too far to the right, then the flag will be destroyed. So what we need to do is we need to use the ghost to move us around. What is the ghost? Ghost is ghost and weak. So ghost can't be transformed into anything else. And if we move into the ghost will be destroyed. So we need to be careful about this, because it's got the weak rule applied to it. So what can we do? So first of all, we're going to pull the ghost, because the ghost has the pull rule applied to it. We're just going to pull it over. We're going to pull it this way. And the reason why we do this is that we want the ghost to move along this row over here. So the ghost is we're going to set up the rule ghost is pull. Well, we've got the rule ghost is pull. We want to set up the rule ghost is move, because we're going to get the ghost to pull Baba over to this side of the map. So after we set up ghost is move, we're going to set up this rule Baba is pull. That's going to let the ghost be able to pull Baba across to this part of the map on the right. So we're going to set up Baba is pull, and then we're going to set up ghost is move. So the ghost is going to move over here, and when I move Baba up here, the ghost is also going to move over this way, which means that the ghost is now pulling Baba. So we're just going to wait. Baba is going to be pulled by the ghost. I'm not moving Baba, the ghost is moving Baba. So when we arrive over here, then we can actually get off the ghost train. So from here, we're going to move the text flag out, the flag text out, and then we're just going to move the flag text over here. We're going to break up ghost is move, and then we're going to set up the rule. We're going to set up the rule flag is win. So this is another rule of Baba is you. If we are an object, so flag is you, and that object is also win, then we win. So if you're the flag and flag is win, then you win the level. If Baba is you and Baba is win, then we win the level. So let's go ahead and set up those rules. So flag is you, flag is win, and we win. How exactly we play this game? This is Baba is you, area number 4, level number 8. Okay, so in each one of these levels, there's going to be a bunch of rules in place that govern how the level works. So each one of these 3-letter sentences is going to define one rule that applies to the level. For example, here we've got rock is push, which means if we have a rock object, we can push it. So I can move this rock object around by pushing it. I control this little guy over here. It's called Baba, so Baba is you. And we can also change the object that you are. So we're not always Baba, but we can also become different objects. We've got leaf is tele. This is a teleport ability, which means if we touch the leaves, we'll be teleported between each one of these. And what other rules are in place? We've got foliage is sync. So foliage is these leaves over here. And if you push something into the foliage, then the object you push into it and the foliage itself is going to be destroyed. We've got flag is win, which means we have to touch a flag to win. But there's currently no flag on the screen. That's because ghost has flag. So we got this ghost over here. If we destroy the ghost, it will leave behind a flag, which we can then touch and win. And we've got ghost is shut and push, which means that we can push the ghost, and we can also open the ghost if we've got a key object. Well, an open object rather. So key is open, which means if we push the key into the ghost, then we can open the ghost and destroy it, and then get the flag to win the level. Let's go ahead and start the level. So what do we need to do? So I think we can teleport between the areas in the level by touching the leaf over here. And we can also... Okay, so we can't move the text around. Huh. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to move this rock into the leaves over here. Okay, so we've now pushed the we've now gotten rid of this obstacle over here, and I think we can move this ghost around. Oh, I think I kind of remember what we're supposed to do. Hold on, everybody. I've solved this level before, but it's been a while, so I'm just going to okay, so let's go ahead and set it up so that the leaf is the teleport and the leaf is also push, so that we can push the leaf around. So this is what we're going to do. So, well, the rock, we don't need the rock anymore, so we're just going to create this rule over here. It's going to be leaf is tele, which means it will teleport stuff. And we're also going to make it so that leaf is push. Oops, over here. And when we form the rule, leaf is push and leaf is tele at the same time, we will teleport, but then we'll also be able to push the leaf. So we're just going to teleport and set the rule at the same time, just like this. And then afterwards, we can move the leaf into the key. So now that the key is inside of the leaf, it will keep on teleporting between these two leaves. So we can see this happening here. When the key is not in the leaf, we can push it. So every second turn, we can move the leaf around like this. Just like this. And then eventually we can push it into the ghost. Okay, and then we're gonna push the key out like this. Actually, we're gonna push the leaf off like this. So from here, we can move the ghost into the key, and it's gonna leave behind the flag, which is gonna let us win the level. So that's how we win. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about how we finish the level before we move on to the next one. So this is going to be over here. This is the Ghost Guard level number 8. Okay, so the key point in this level is we can use the teleporting objects as a method of moving otherwise non-mobile objects around the map. So the method of solve is push the rock into the foliage, but it's going to be destroy both of those objects. Then we form the rule leaf is tele and leaf is push in a way where you form leaf is push rule while entering the leaf object and moving upwards. So we have to create a pattern like this, and afterwards we can push the leaf into the key, and every second turn you can push the leaf towards the ghost. Push it next to the ghost, and then when the leaf and the key are overlapping, push the leaf off of the key. The last step is to push the ghost onto the key, destroying both and revealing the flag. When you touch the flag, you win. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next level. And let's just take a look at what's going on here. This is called Leaf Chamber. The key point in this level is this level showcases the concept of using moving objects to pull other objects through dangerous tiles. So what does this mean? Let's go ahead and go over to the level and find out. This is level number 9. Leaf Chamber. Oh, okay. This is kind of a messy level. Before we go over how we solve the level, we need to talk about what rules are in place. So Baba is you, and we can't change who we are in this level, so we'll always be Baba. We've got key is open, which means that we can use the key to open something. And in this case, it's the fungus. So fungus is shut. So we need to use the key to destroy the fungus, and the fungus has the flag. So when we destroy the fungus, it will reveal the flag, and flag is win, which means we have to touch that flag to win. Fungus is shut and pull. So we can pull the fungus if there's going to be an object that can move away from the fungus, it's going to pull it along. We got hedges stop, which means we can't move past the hedges. We've got leaf and foliage is defeat. So we've got the leaf over here, which is going to destroy us if we touch it, and same thing with this foliage over here. And leaf is leaf, which means we can't turn the leaf into any other object. So let's go ahead and start the level. So the first thing we need to do is avoid the leaves, they're moving around. Because we've got this rule over here, leaf is move. So if we break this up, then the leaves no longer move. And we've got key is push and pull. We don't need to use the key until the very end of the level, so we're just going to put the key text away so that it doesn't get in the way. What we need to do now is we need to set leaf to pull so we can pull the leaves away. So we can just pull the leaves over here, and we're just going to set up one leaf so that it's moving in this direction. And we're going to set up the other leaf so that it's moving in this direction. Okay, hold on. I think I need to... Yeah, just like... So one needs to be moving this way, and one needs to be moving... this way. Okay. So after that, we're going to make the leaves move around. And we just need to make sure that the leaves are moving until here. So when the leaf is here, we're going to pull this leaf downwards so that it can start moving in this direction now. Because we want this leaf to pull the fungus away. So this is how we're going to do it. We're just going to set up so that, hold on. I also want to push this block in the way so that the leaf can't move past this area over here. We'll know why in just a second. But from here, we're going to set it up so that leaf is move and leaf is pull. Okay, leaf is move. Leaf is, oh, I forgot to do something. Sorry, everybody. This is what I need to do first. So I just need to set up leaf as pull. Then I need to pull this leaf downwards. Okay, from there, we can do everything that we did before. So leaf is pull and leaf is move. So this leaf over here is going to move up, and then it's going to pull the fungus downwards. So we're just going to wait for... Oh! There's a reason why that didn't work. Okay. Wow. Okay. The reason why that didn't work was because this leaf also pulled on the other leaf. It's weird. Let me pull this leaf away and let me set it back into position. Okay. All right, let's do that one more time. Okay, so the leaf will move up and then pull the fungus down with it. So it goes up, it pulls the fungus down, and then this leaf pulls the fungus in the other direction. So I'm just gonna break off leaf is move now, and then we're gonna set it so that we can do key is push. Actually, no, key is pull. So key is pull. We're going to move the key out, and then we're going to set it so that key is move. No, key is push. Okay. So key is push. Now we can move the key into the fungus to destroy the fungus and the key and reveal the flag. Okay, and then we move into the flag to finish the level. Okay, what did we do in that level to finish it? So form the rule leaf is pull, and then pull the leaf objects into the same row as the wind tile facing left. Move the push text into position between the 3 hedges. Form the rule leaf is move, and then break it when the first leaf enters the same column as the fungus. Form the rule leaf is pull. All this stuff. Anyways, we got the leaves to pull the objects through some dangerous tiles that we don't have access to, and then we were able to access those objects and then get the flag and then finish the level. Okay, let's move on to the next level. So the next level is level number 10. This is going to be not there. Okay, we've got a new rule. So this level introduces the not rule, which negates whatever rule is placed after it. And let me just check to see how many levels we're completing today. We're completing until 4B. Okay, let's go ahead and start the next level. This is level 10. Not there. Okay, so this level introduces the not rule. The not rule is a very powerful rule, and it basically negates whatever rule comes before it. And in this case, if we set up not Baba is you, that means we control everything that isn't Baba. So Baba is this person, right? Is this little guy right here? We actually control everything in the level that isn't Baba, because the not rule has been set in place over here. So, I mean, this is very interesting, but it doesn't help us complete this level. So, what else can we do with the not rule? We can set it up so that fence. Okay, so before we explore further, we should probably talk about what is going on in the level. So we've got fence is not you. So fence is not you means that we cannot become the fence, and fence is stop, which means that fence we can't move past the fence. How do we solve the level then? I think we can set it up so that fence is not stop. So fence is not stop, which means that we can move past the fence. So it says fence is stop, but this has been negated by fence is not stop, which means we can move through the fence nice and free. Okay, so what can we do now? We can set it up so that Baba is win. That's a pretty classic win condition. So we're just gonna go over here and grab this is win, these is win tiles, and we're just gonna set it up so that Baba is win. Just like this. So if you are an object and you are also the win object, then you win. Okay, let's talk about the level and then move on to the next one. So these next levels feature the not rule, and it's actually a very interesting rule. Okay, method of solve. Form the rule, fence is not stop. Form the rule, Baba is win. Okay, let's move on to the next level, level number 11. And the key points for this level is not is a very powerful rule, and it can affect almost all objects in a level if used correctly. So let's go ahead and figure out this level. Okay, there are a lot of rules in place on this level, so we'll just go over them one by one. So Baba is you. So we're playing as Baba here. Text is float. Text is float means that text cannot be used to sink anything. And we see here that water is sink. So if we move any object into the sink objects, they'll be destroyed along with the sink object. In this level, we're going to be using the rocks to sink the water tiles to destroy them. We also have rock is rock, which means that the rocks cannot be transformed into anything else. We've got hedge is hedge. The hedges cannot be transformed. Hedge is stop and not push. So the hedges will always stop our movement, and they cannot be made into a push object. Flag is win. If we touch the flag in this level, we win. And this is the thing, the problem with this level is that we have to somehow get access to the flag without forming this rule right here by pushing these text objects into this spot. So Baba is not you. If we form the rule Baba is not you, we lose, because we negate the is you rule, and that if at any time you are not an object, then you lose level. So anyways, let's undo that, and let's figure out how to finish this level. So the first thing you need to do is we need to figure out how to get access to this area over here. So if we're able to move some text tiles into here, then we can form a rule that's not going to make us lose. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the rule rock is push. So now that rock is push, we can move a rock into the water here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up not rock is push. So when we set up not rock is push, it basically means that we can push a lot of different objects. And in this case, we can move the water around because the water is not a rock, so we can push it. So in this case, we're just going to move this water aside, and then we're going to move this other water aside because we want to get access to this area. We're just going to take all this water, we're going to move it off to the side so that it doesn't get in our way. Okay, and then we're going to break the rule not rock is push. And we have rock is push now. So we're just going to destroy this water tile over here with the rock. So let me move the rock. Okay, so we can now move a text tile into here. And the tile we're going to move in here is not. So now that we've got this, we're going to form the rule not Baba is not you. So all this stuff negates itself. So Baba is not you means that we are not Baba, but not Baba is not you means that that Baba is you. It's because it's a double negation. So we form the rule and we don't lose because not Baba is not you is the same as Baba is you. So we're just going to move this aside, and now we have access to the flag. Touch the flag to win. Okay, let's talk about the level and move on to the next one. So form the rule rock is push, sink a rock into the water tile above the Baba text. Form the rule not rock is push, push the water tiles out of the way, clearing a path to the water tile 2 tiles to the left of the Baba text. Break the rule not rock is push and form the rule rock is push. Push the rock into the water tile indicated in step 4. Form the rule not Baba is not you, and then touch the flag to win. Done. Okay, let's move on to level number 12. Level 12 is a dead end. So in this level, the key point is we can negate a knot with another knot placed next to it, and it can also be used as a means of rule extension. So let's go ahead and do that level. Level 12. Okay, so what's going on? So many rules. So water is water and sink and not you. So the water is, we cannot transform the water. The water sinks, so we need to find a way to destroy the water tiles, and we cannot become the water tiles. Me is win, and in this case, me means this this purple guy right here. This is the me character, or the me object. So me is win and not you, which means we cannot become the me object, but we have to touch the me object to win. Text is float, which means we can't use the text to sink into the water and destroy it. We got flag is flag, which means that the flag cannot be transformed into anything else. We got box is box, which means the boxes can't be turned into anything else. Fence is stop and not you, which means that we can't move past the fences. And we can't transform into the fences. So what are we going to do? We're the flag. Huh. So flag is you. Okay, so we're the flag. Flag is not box. So the flag cannot transform into a box. And right now, we can't move the boxes. So otherwise, we could use the boxes to move into the water tiles to get access to the me object to win. But we've also got not push over here. So what can we do? We can actually use a double negative in this case. And we can do not something. So we can do box is not push, which means that box is push. So we're gonna form the rule, which means that we can push the boxes now. So box is not push means we can't push it, but if it's not push, that means we can push it. So we push the boxes into the water, which gives us access to the win object over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about how we solved the level. I think we've got 2 more levels. We'll do 2 more levels, and then we will move on to the next activity. Okay, so method of solve. Form the rule, box is not push. Push the boxes into the water, gaining access to me. Touch me to win. And don't take that the wrong way. Okay, so this is going to be level number A, literacy. So the key points in this level is, this level introduces the text object, which is used to transform objects into their text equivalent. For example, if you form the rule, wall is text, all walls in the level will transform into the wall text. So this is kind of a difficult concept to wrap your head around at first, and I still struggle a little bit with this. But you know what? We'll let the level speak for itself. So this is level A, literacy. Okay, so what is going on in the level? We've got flag is win, flag is over here. We don't have access to the flag. We need to find a way. Wall is wall, which means the wall will always be a wall, and we can't transform the wall into any other object. We have rock is push, which means we can push the rock around. And we got wall is defeat, which means that if we touch the wall, then we'll be destroyed. So if we're currently using a new character now. So me is you. So this purple guy is me, and we're controlling me. If we move into the wall, we're destroyed. This is not what we want. But strangely enough, wall is not stop. So in this level, we can actually move other objects into the wall, and that's fine. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to get access to the text object over here. So the text object works in a very, very peculiar way. I'll talk about it in just a second. So we're just going to move the text object out, and then we're going to set it up in place over here. So this is what we're going to do. So the wall object and the wall text are 2 different things. if we create the rule wall is text, then all of the wall objects are going to become wall text, and wall text is not defeat. The wall object is defeat. So when we do this, then all of the previous wall objects become wall text. And wall text, we can interact with it just fine. It's not going to defeat us. So this means that we can have free access to the flag object to let us win the level. So this whole turning objects into text it's very, very unintuitive, but it's actually very, very clever. But we'll be exploring more about this in the next few levels. So let's go ahead and touch the flag to win. Okay, let's talk about that level. So the method of solve for this level is form the rule wall is text by pushing the rule into position with the rock, then touch the flag to win. Remember, the wall object and the wall text are two different things, and we can turn an object into text by forming the rule something is text. If we turn Baba into text, then Baba, the object, will turn into Baba, the text. So just a little food for thought. Let's move on to the next level, which is level number B. So level B is called Broken Playground. So, okay, the key point in this level is we can use the Tela rule to set up an object as win rule by subbing in the actual object instead of the object text, then changing the actual object into text with the text rule. Okay, this seems a little bit confusing. Let's go ahead and get in the level. We'll understand it better then. And there's a lot of steps in this level. Okay, let's go over to B, Broken Playground. Okay, so we've got water is Tele, which means that the water block will teleport you from the big area over here to the small area over here. We also have text is float, which means that text can overlap with other objects and over sync objects, I guess. And we also have wall and box is stop, which means that the walls will stop your progress and the box will also stop your progress. Okay, we need to figure out how to finish the level, and usually we form a rule, something like flag is win. We've got is win in this little room over here, and we're gonna have to set up that rule. So we're playing as Kiki in this level, so we can move Kiki around, and I think we can form is win just like this. Then we can teleport back. And I think from here we want to become the flag object. So we're just going to grab the flag object here. And we're going to become the flag. So from here we can move the flag around. And I think, hold on, I need to consult my notes. This is a very complicated level. Okay, so push the is object, text tile above the one text. Okay, text is you. Okay, so we need to form text as you. Hold on. Okay, so we need to become the text object. So this is kind of weird. Hold on. Okay, so we got text. So we're going to become the text. So when we become the text, every piece of text in the level is going to be us, and we can move it. We can move it around. So we can't move this text around because it's encased in the wall, and the wall stops it from moving around. But every other object, text object, we can move it around. And in this case, we're going to move over here, and we're going to become the Kiki object again, because the box is stop, and when we try to move up against the box, we're going to form the rule Kiki is you. So these two tiles can have to stay put, but these two can move up. In that case, we become Kiki again. So we can move Kiki, and we're just going to move Kiki up here. Yeah, we're going to move Kiki over here, and then we're going to set up the rule. I think we're going to set up the rule flag is you. Hold on. Let me consult the notes. Okay. Slide the Kiki is rule to the left until Kiki is in the same column as the water tile. Is that it? Okay, that's true. Set up the is win text by moving it directly below the water tile. Okay. So we need to move this is win text. Let me just do that. Just like this. Then we're going to teleport back. And then form the rule flag is you from below. Push the box text onto the water tile. Okay, so we become the flag. Then we move the box text over here. Okay. And what do we want to do? We want to... okay. We want to move this down so that we move this text, this column of text down. We become the Kiki object again, but we also move the flag object onto the water tile, which is going to teleport the flag object over to the small room over here. Okay. So the flag is now going to be, it's going to be teleporting between these two water tiles over here over and over again each turn. What we want to do is we want to turn the flag into text. So we're going to set up the rule flag is text. So we're just going to set up the rule over here. No, okay. So we just need to wait until it's over on this side. So we wait a turn. When we set up the rule flag is text, then it's going to set up the rule in text flag is win. So now the flag, this rule is in place. We have a win condition. So flag is win. We can turn the box into a flag. So we're going to do box is flag. Whoops. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So box is flag. Okay. So now that we've created the win condition, and then we've created the object that lets us win, we touch the flag and then we win. Okay, that was a little more complicated than I thought it was going to be. But let's talk about how we finish the level, and then we will move on. Okay, so the key point in this level is we can use the tele rule to set up an object is win rule by subbing in the actual object instead of the object text, then changing the actual object into text with the text rule. So we were able to create the rule flag is win by teleporting an actual flag into place and then turning it into text. So push the is text into the tile above the win text. Form the rule text is you by pushing the text up from below. Use the box to form the rule Kiki is you by... Okay, so this is all very complicated, but we illustrated what we were doing during the level, so hopefully that is enough to illustrate how we finished the level. Okay, let's go ahead and access the next level. The next level is level C, fetching. So we'll go through we'll go through a little tutorial on how the game works, because not everybody here has seen the game before. So this is Baba Is You. This game is all about making rules and breaking rules, and the rules are all defined in these little lines over here. It kind of reminds me of programming a little bit, and each one of these rules, most of them are three tiles long, and they basically set a rule for the level of this game. So for example, we've got Baba Is You. Baba Is You means that we're controlling the Baba object, and the Baba object is this little white rabbit sheep thing, not too sure what it is. We also have hedge is stop. So this rule means that we can't move past the hedges, and they impede our progress. We've got skull is defeat, which means this skull object over here, if we run into it, we will be defeated. That is destroyed. So if we run into it, we're destroyed. We don't want that, so we're just going to not do that. We also have ghost is defeat and melt. So ghost is defeat. If we run into the ghost over here, we'll be defeated. It also melts if it comes into contact with a hot object. And if we can create a hot object and then push it into the ghost, then the ghost will be destroyed. We also have, we need to form this rule, flag is win. We need to make an object the win object and then touch the win object to finish the level. Okay, so we also have text is push, Kiki is hot, and we'll go through. It says text is defeat. That's kind of funny. Anyways, let's we'll talk about a little bit about these rules as we work through the level. Okay, so what do we need to do to solve this level? So the first thing we need to do is we need to turn this Kiki object over here by the on this other side of the map over here. We need to make him useful, and we can make him useful by turning Kiki into Baba so that we can control two objects at the same time. So we transform Kiki into Baba by forming the rule Kiki is Baba. So the next thing we need to do is we need to get rid of this skull is defeat rule, because we need to move the skull and destroy the ghost with it. So we're going to make another rule, and that rule is going to be text I have to be very careful because I'm controlling two of these Babas, and I have to avoid coming into contact with this other skull with this Baba. So it's kind of I gotta think with two brains over here. Hold on. How do we do this? Maybe we could try moving this other object first. So this is object, we're just gonna move this in place. Okay, we did that successfully. Next we're gonna move text into place. Okay, so we formed this rule. So the rule is text is weak. So when text is weak, weak objects will be destroyed when they come into contact with another object. In this case, we can destroy this defeat text over here by moving Baba into it, and in that way, skull is no longer defeat. So we don't have to worry about touching the skull anymore. And in fact, we actually want to move the skull into position by making this other rule. So this other rule is going to be skull is push. Okay, so we formed the rule skull is push, and now we can move the skull around by pushing it. So we can just move the skull into the ghost here, and we can also form this other rule, which is flag is win. So after we do that, we're going to form another rule, which is the skull is going to be hot. And because if the skull is hot and it's also touching the ghost over here, then we can destroy the ghost because it has the melt attribute over here. Okay, so we're gonna crush this this push rule over here because text is still weak, and we're gonna make the skull hot. When we make the skull hot, because it's on top of the ghost and the ghost is melt, it will destroy the ghost. Okay. After that, we can now get access to the flag and win the level. So let's do that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how we solved that level. So this is level C, which is fetching. Okay, so the key point in this level is we can use the text is weak rule to destroy inconvenient rules that are getting in our way. So the method to solve here is Baba is you, form Baba, no, wait, hold on, I need to edit this a little bit. So the first thing we do is form Kiki is Baba. Okay, then we form text is weak, and then we destroy some of the text, such as defeat. Then we make skull push, and then we push the skull on top of the ghost. We destroy the push text, and then we make skull is hot, which destroys the ghost. Then we can create the flag is win rule, and then touch the flag to win. Okay, let's move on to the next level. This is going to be level D, Scenic Pond. So what did we have to understand about the next level? So the key point in this level is if we have access to the text, and we can create any object. We can create any object if we can destroy tiles with sync or open. So what does this mean? Well, we'll have to find out in the next level. Okay, so this is level D, Scenic Pond. Okay, so what's going on here? We should probably review the rules before we start the level. So we got fence and wall is stop. So these objects here, they're all going to impede our progress. We've got skull has wall, which means if the skull is destroyed, it will create a wall object. And this is not what we want. We also have skull is sink. So the skull can be destroyed if something comes into contact with it. We also have water is sink. So if we push any objects into the water here, they're also going to be destroyed. And we have text is defeat. I'm not too sure what text is defeat really means in this context. We've got Baba is you, which means we're working as Baba right now. And we have Kiki has text. Kiki has text. Okay, so we're going to form one rule first. And the rule we're going to form is text has Baba. So text has Baba means that if text is destroyed, it will leave behind a Baba object. So for example, this Kiki text over here, if we destroy it, it'll create another Baba. Okay, so we destroy the text, and because text has Baba, when the text was destroyed, another Baba appears. So what we can do is we can form another rule. The other rule is going to be Baba has text. So here, so Baba has text. When Baba is destroyed, it will create some text, and the text depends on the object that's destroyed. And in this case, when Baba is destroyed, it'll create the Baba text. And in this way, we're going to destroy Baba in this water here. When Baba is destroyed, because Baba has text, it will create the Baba text. So this forms the rule over here, Baba is float. So Baba floats now. So Baba doesn't come into contact with any objects. So Baba can float above the water, Baba can float above the skull, and we're just going to create this rule here, flag is win. So we can touch the flag to win, but the problem is that we're floating. So Baba is float, which means we can't touch the flag, but we can break the rule Baba is float like this, and now we can touch the flag to win. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about how we solve the level, and then we'll move on to the next one. So form text has Baba, and then after that we move the Kiki text into the water, creating another Baba. We form Baba has text, then we move the a Baba into the water above its float text, destroying Baba, the water, and forming the rule Baba is float. So using that, we can form the rule flag is win by flying above the water and the skull, we break Baba is float, and then we touch the flag to win. Okay, let's move on to the next level, and that's going to be level E, Skeletal Door. So we'll talk a little bit more about this level when we get in. Let's do that. So this is level E, Skeletal Door. Okay, so here's the thing. We've got all these skulls over here, and they defeat us. So if we move into the skull, we're defeated. If the other thing that we can do is that we can make the rule text as you, which means that we now control all the text over here. So you might think that this is really handy, and it is really handy, but the other thing is that, well, when the text comes into contact with the skulls, because the text is you, then the text is destroyed. And what we need to do is be kind of creative to solve this level. We'll talk a little bit more about how to do that. So we're going to move this push tile over here, and then we're going to form text as you. So now that we've got text as you over here, we're also going to form another rule, and that other rule is going to be Baba is push. So if we form Baba as push, we can move Baba around, and we can move Baba into the skull. So because Baba is not us, then Baba can be in the same tile as the skull, and that's fine. Because, well, the defeat rule means that whatever is you will be defeated when it touches the defeat object. But in this case, Baba's not us. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this push text to move Baba outside. So Baba is now on the other side of the skull wall over here. So the last thing we need to do is we need to become Baba. And now Baba can touch the flag to win. Okay, let's talk about how we finish that level. So move the push tile into the same column as the Baba text. Form text as you to become the text. Then we form Baba is push, so that you can push Baba around. Push Baba into the skull at the top of the column of skulls, and then use the push text to push Baba to the right of the skulls. The last thing we need to do is form Baba is you to become Baba on the other side of the skull wall, and then touch the flag to win. Okay, let's move on to the next level, which is extra level 1. Okay, this is another tricky level. Alright, so this is extra level 1, it's called push. No, it's called jump. Okay, so this is another level where we need to teleport stuff around. Let's talk about the rules that are in place. So fences stop, which means we can't move past the fences. Baba is you, and it's also fenced off, which means we need to be Baba in this level. Flag is win. When we touch the flag, we win. And water is defeat. So if we move into the water, we're destroyed. So we need to find some way to move this water out of the way and then touch the flag to win. The other rule that we really need to pay attention to in this level is love is Tella. So love is this heart object over here, and Tella means that we're going to be, whatever comes into contact with the Tella object is going to teleport from one object to the other object in the level. In this case, we can move this push text over here into this love object. It's going to teleport to the other one. And we can also teleport using this method as well. So each turn, the object inside the Tella object is going to move between the two or more Tella objects. And the next thing we want to do is we want to break love is Tella. We're going to make love is push. We're going to move the love object over here. And then we're going to reset up the rule love is Tella. So the water was inside of the love object. Now that love is Tella, the water object is going to be teleported back and forth between the love objects here. Okay, so we're going to break up love is Tella, And now we can push these out of the way. So let's set up love is push here. And then we can use these rules to move this stuff out of the way. Okay, so love is push. The next thing we want to do is we want to teleport the water away over here. So we're just going to move this love object into the water here, and we're also going to set up love is teleport again. Okay, so now the water is teleporting between these two love objects. So we're just going to move in the way and teleport again, and then we can touch the flag and win. All right, let's talk about how we've solved that level. So teleport the push tile to the left-hand side of the map and then follow it. Form love is push and then push the love into the water. When the water is in the left-hand love object, we're going to form the rule love is push. Use the love is push text tiles to move the love out of the water, and then move one of the love objects into the water tile above the flag. Form the rule love is teleport to teleport that water out of the way, and then move into the teleport object and touch the flag to win. Okay, the next level is going to be extra level number 2. So one thing we need to keep track of in this level is that the not object is win rule. It's almost guaranteed to finish every level where you can form that rule. We'll talk about this in just a little bit. Okay, so this is level extra 2, even less there. So this looks kind of similar to another level that we did in this area, and let's go over the rules. So we've got fence is not you, so we can't become the fence object. And we've got fence is stop, which means that we can't move past the fence. We need to get access to this win tile over here, because with the win tile we could set up a win condition. So we've got Baba as you, and we're going to form this funny little rule. So fence is not stop. So we got two rules in place here. We've got fence is stop, but because we've set up this other rule, fence is not stop, the fence is stop rule is negated. So we can move through the fence now. So what we're going to do is we're going to showcase this rule here. And if something is not win, if not something is win, then everything in the level that is not that object is going to be win. And in this case, we're going to make fence not fence is win. Let's see. So it's not fence is win. So before we do this, let's explain what this is doing exactly. So if an object is win and we are that object, then we win. So because Baba is you, we're going to form not fence. Not fence is everything that's not fence, and that includes Baba. And if Baba is win and we are Baba, then we win. So let's go ahead and win. Okay, let's talk about that. So the method to solve, it's pretty easy. Form fence is not stop so that we can move past the fence, and then form not fence is win, which means that if we are not the fence, which we were not, then we win. Okay, last level. So the last level is going to be EX3 Deep Pool. So this one's a little bit repetitive, but we'll try to explain what's going on while we do it. Okay. Extra level 3, Deep Pool. Alright, so let's talk about this. So we got skull is defeat, which means if we touch the skull, we are defeated. Water is sink, which means that the water objects are going to be destroyed if anything comes into contact with them. Text is defeat. Not too sure what the implication of this is still. We've got fence and wall is stop, which means that the fences and the walls, they get in our way. Baba is you. We are Baba. And Kiki has text. So Kiki has text isn't really, well, whatever. Well, there's no real Kiki here. So just like the last level where we saw something like this, we're going to form text as Baba. So text as Baba means when any text is destroyed, the Baba object is going to appear in its place. So we can just move Kiki over here, destroy it, and then we now have a Baba. So now that we're controlling two Babas, we can actually switch up the rule, and the rule is going to be Baba has text. And Baba has text means that when Baba is destroyed, Baba is going to leave behind the Baba text. And in this case, we're just going to destroy this one. So it destroyed the water, but it left behind the Baba text. And we're just going to re-establish this rule. Text as Baba. So when we destroy the Baba text, another Baba is going to appear. And we can re-establish this rule here. Baba has text. So there is a reason why we're doing this, because eventually... Whoops. I didn't want to do that. I want to do this. Because eventually we want to form the rule Baba has Baba, and we can't do that without destroying all these water tiles here first. When we form Baba has Baba, then Baba is effectively invincible, so we can move past the skull without having to worry about being destroyed. So let's re-establish the rule. Whoops. Text as Baba. So text as Baba, we destroy the text and another Baba appears. So let's go ahead and get out. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so this is the last time. So we're going to destroy Baba here, and the Baba text is going to appear. So after we do that, we can move the Baba text out, and we're going to form Baba has Baba. And when whatever your object is has the object that you are again, it basically makes your object invincible. So the defeat, anything that's defeat, anything that's sink, cannot destroy you anymore. So I can move into the skull as many times as I want, but every time I'm destroyed, another one of me is going to appear. So we're just going to take advantage of this to form flag is win. The skull doesn't defeat us anymore. We can touch the flag to win. Okay, so before we finish up for the day, let's talk about how we solved that level. So in this level, we form the rule text as Baba, then we push the Kiki text into the water to create another Baba. So we alternated between Baba has text, destroying the Baba object, and then text as Baba, and then destroying the text. And we do that until there's only one water tile that remains, and then we destroy Baba one last time, and then we form the rule Baba has Baba. And if we can form Baba as Baba, we can form the flag, form the rule flag is win, then touch the flag to win. And that was the last level of area number 4.
Hey there, HackerFrogs! Are you enjoying this workshop? Learning new concepts and skills? If so, there's a way you can support the channel, and it's totally free. Just click on the subscribe button below the video. Also, click on the like button. And if you have questions or comments on this workshop, please leave them below the video. Thanks for listening. And now, back to our scheduled programming.